Thanks for joining us on this powder day. If you need some good food after a good ski day, or you're getting ready to have a Broncos party or going to a Broncos party, I got just the appetizer for you. And this is a buffalo chicken sandwich. So I came up with this recipe because I decided for New Year's I was going to give up fried food, and I really am a big fan of the buffalo wing. So this is how you can get it, and it can be a little less fried. No, totally, it's not fried at all. It's got a little fat in it, but it's going to be delicious. First of all, what I started off with is 3 cups of shredded chicken. I just did it in my crock pot and shredded it with a fork, but you can always buy a rotisserie chicken and pop it in here, shred it all up nicely. That'll give you some really good flavor. And then I did 1 cup of carrots, and I'm going to show you how I sliced those carrots. I didn't do the carrots just because we had bunnies in the studio this morning. I did the carrots because they're going to add a sweetness to the buffalo chicken. And of course, with colorful cooking, I always try to add fruits and vegetables to everything. So this would be a nice dip with a carrot, or it's going to be a nice sandwich, which is how I'm going to feature it today. So right now, I have in my pan 3 cups of chicken shredded, 1 cup of a carrot, and 3/4 of a cup of blue cheese, sounding like buffalo wings, right? What I did with the carrot is I just peeled it like this, and then I chopped it off. And I did this because you don't want big chunks of carrot, but you want the sweetness and the crispness of it. So if you do it like this, it makes those nice thin ribbons, and then you can just chop them up and add them to your dip. And that's going to give it the nice sweetness and also a little bit of a crunch. So this is basically what I did, and then I added it in there. Pretty easy. You could also use that as a garnish if you want to get all fancy on people. Buffalo sauce. You can make your own, but I have really known that this Red Hot Frank's is super good and super hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a lot of it to our warm pan. The blue cheese is starting to melt. If you wanted to, you could use this as a dip. Put it in your food processor and blend it all up, and then just serve it with carrots, and it would be a nice dip. Another thing I was thinking about, if you really, really like hot, you could stuff a jalapeno pepper with this. So there we go. I did about 3/4 of a cup of the Frank's hot sauce in here. I can even smell the heat right now. This is going to be really good. And right here I have a mixture of sour cream and mayonnaise. So I'm going to do about 1/2 cup of that mixture and just start stirring it around. I want it to be nice and creamy for our sandwich, and I also want it to have a little bit of crunch. Oh, I'm smelling it right now, and this hot sauce is going to be really, really good. Chicken, of course, is a great meat to eat because it's full of protein and it's low in fat. So, you know, we can fatten it up with some blue cheese, right? So here we go. We have a nice creamy dip. And like I was saying before, you can put this in your food processor, stuff it into a jalapeno popper, or you can just serve it as a dip with celery and carrots. That would truly be like a buffalo wing dip. I'm going to give it a little taste because anytime you're cooking, you always want to taste everything to make sure that your flavors are balanced. We're looking for a little sweet. We're looking for a little sweet and a little spicy. I definitely have spicy in there. So I'm going to add a little more of my creamy sauce. And this is a combination of mayonnaise and sour cream. That's just going to kind of chill out the heat a little bit. So here we go. Stirring that around. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's looking good. Dipping that with a carrot would be perfect, but that's not what we are doing today. Today, we are going to make a sandwich because I'm just like totally into sandwiches right now. And I think this would be a nice appetizer too for everybody that kind of shows up to your Broncos game. And it's got orange in it, right? So we can cheer for the Broncos. All right, so let's pack this on into our sandwich. Just cover it all over the place. I can't stand when you get a sandwich and like half of it's just bread. So I always really, really pay attention to what I'm doing with my sandwich making. All right, and then we're just going to flip it over like that, smush it together. If anything squirts out the side, you just clean it up a little. And we're going to cut it into nice little triangle pieces, and then we're going to test it out. How easy is this? This is going to give us the spice and the crunch of a fried chicken wing, but less calories, but still a lot of flavor. I'm going to cut this up. We're going to take a quick break, and then Leo's going to come back in and test it and tell me if it's spicy enough. All right, you ready for some spicy?
You know what? My stomach is a grumbling and I'm ready.
He's been telling me all morning, I really can't wait to taste this. I really can't. Try it with a carrot.
Okay.
I think it's good with as a sandwich too because you're going to have a little bit of the crunch, and I'm just like feeling the sandwiches right now for some reason, but I think if you're going to try it with a carrot, I guess he doesn't pay attention. Oh, you're doing it like that. Okay. You can also just use this as a dip. This would be a really good dip. Put it under the broiler, crisp it up a little bit on the top, and then serve it with celery or carrots, and it's going to be decently healthy. What do you think about the spice?
Well, you know what? I have a pretty high tolerance when it comes to spice, but I gotta say, that has got some kick to it.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
does. So this is going to kick you after you get kicked on the mountain.